My girlfriend said she didn't need me to survive, so I stopped supporting her and moved out. I, 31am, have always believed relationships are built on teamwork. Not 50-50 all the time. Sometimes it's 80-20 when one of you is struggling. Sometimes it's carrying the other person when they can't walk. That's what love is, right? I met Jenna, 29F, 6 years ago through mutual friends. She was smart, funny, independent. The kind of woman who could hold her own in any room and wasn't afraid to speak her mind. I admired that. She had a job in marketing, made decent money, had her own apartment, car, everything. I was working in IT and had just moved up to a project manager position. We clicked fast. Within 8 months, we moved in together. The first couple of years were great. We split bills, chores, cooked together. But over time, things changed. Subtly at first. She started taking on less around the house, always claiming she was too tired from work or mentally drained. I didn't mind at first. I figured she was just going through a rough patch. So I picked up the slack. Cleaning, cooking, doing the laundry, handling errands. I even started paying a bigger share of the bills because she said she was tight that month, which somehow became every month. Then came her job change. She left her steady marketing gig to start her own social media consulting business. I supported her fully, helped her set up the website, paid for initial tools and software, even dipped into my savings to help her cover rent and groceries for the first 6 months. She said she'd pay me back when the business took off, except it never really did. She had a couple of small clients here and there, but most of her days were spent on Instagram or binging Netflix. When I gently brought it up, she'd get defensive. You don't understand what it's like to build something from scratch. I need time. So I kept supporting her. For over a year. It wasn't just financial. I was her emotional rock, her sounding board, her therapist. If something went wrong, even something small, she'd come to me, and I'd be the one to lift her up. But when I had a bad day, when I was stressed from work, she'd dismiss it with a shrug or say, "You'll be fine, you're tough." I started feeling more like her father than her partner. Then came the moment that changed everything. We were having a pretty normal evening. Just dinner and a couple glasses of wine. Somehow the conversation drifted into relationships and modern gender roles. She started going on about how women don't need men anymore, how men are always looking to be heroes, to feel validated, and how she didn't need any man to survive. I chuckled and said something like, "Well, I hope I'm at least helpful sometimes." She looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Honestly, if you left tomorrow, I'd be fine. I don't need you. I want you here, but I don't need you." I didn't even know how to respond. I just sat there, quietly chewing my food. And that night, something shifted inside me. I realized I had become her safety net, not her partner. And worse, she didn't even seem to appreciate it. That was the night I decided to stop being her support system. After that dinner, I didn't make a dramatic speech or storm out. I just quietly stopped. No more picking up her slack. No more doing her share of the chores or paying her bills. No more emotional crutch. At first, she didn't notice. A pile of dishes stayed in the sink for 2 days. I didn't touch them. The bathroom trash overflowed. I left it. Normally, I'd clean without thinking. But now I waited. By the end of the week, she was snapping. "Why is the kitchen a mess?" she asked, arms folded. I shrugged. "I've been working a lot. Haven't had time." "You always find time," she replied, frowning. "Yeah, I used to," I said. "But I figured since you don't need me, you've got it covered." She blinked. I could see it register, but she tried to brush it off. A few days later, she asked if I could spot her for rent again. This was month 9 of me covering it. I said, "No, I think it's time you figured that out yourself." "What the hell, Adam?" she snapped. "You know I'm still building the business. And I've been supporting you through that," I said calmly. "But you said you don't need me to survive. I'm just taking your word for it." She got quiet. Real quiet. Then she stormed into the bedroom and slammed the door. I wasn't trying to be cruel. I still cared about her. I just needed her to see how much I'd been doing. How much she took for granted. Over the next couple weeks, the tension got worse. She started noticing every little thing I wasn't doing anymore. No more surprise coffee in the mornings. No more me cooking dinner while she scrolled through TikTok. No more handling her share of the rent or ordering her Uber Eats when she was too anxious to cook. One night, she finally said it. "I don't like this version of you," she muttered during another silent dinner. "This is the version of me that listens to what you said," I replied. "You said you didn't need me. So I'm living like that's true." "I didn't mean it like that." "Well, what did you mean?" She didn't have an answer. Just tears welling up in her eyes. That night, she tried to initiate intimacy. I turned her down, not in a mean way, just honest. "I feel used, Jenna," I told her. "Like I've been giving and all I am to you is a resource. You don't even say thank you anymore." She sat at the edge of the bed, completely silent. The next morning, she did the dishes for the first time in months. She tried to clean the apartment, even attempted to make us dinner, badly, but the effort was there. I wanted to believe this meant things were changing, that maybe she finally saw it. But 2 days later, she broke down crying and said, "I feel like I'm walking on eggshells now." And that's when it hit me. She didn't want a partner. She wanted a provider who never asked for anything in return. Now that I was asking her to pull her weight, she felt pressured. I realized we were fundamentally incompatible. She wanted independence, but only in theory. In practice, she wanted someone to carry the burden while she chased dreams without consequences. I was done carrying it alone. After that night, I started mentally checking out of the relationship. I wasn't angry anymore, just tired. Like emotionally exhausted in a way I hadn't realized until I stopped carrying everything. For the first time in years, I started thinking about myself. My happiness. My peace. I gave her another couple weeks. I wanted to see if this was a temporary wake-up call or if things would fall back to the same pattern. And they did. The cleaning stopped again. She ordered food every day and left the trash on the table. She skipped a few more rent contributions, claiming money was tight because she'd bought a new ring light and a backdrop for her YouTube channel. No clients still, just content and progress. When I asked if she had any business plan, she said, "You just don't get what I'm building. Not everything has to be about money." That was it for me. I knew she was never going to take accountability. She had made being independent her identity, but without realizing independence means more than just saying you don't need someone. It means taking care of yourself, financially, emotionally, and practically. So, I sat her down one Sunday morning. No anger, just truth. "I think we're done," I said flat out. She looked like she'd been slapped. "What? Why now?" "Because I can't keep doing this. You say you don't need me, but you expect me to be here, funding your life, cleaning your mess, holding you together, and getting nothing in return. I've been more like a lifeline than a partner." "But I love you," she whispered. "I think you love what I do for you. But not me. Not really. Because if you did, you'd try. And you'd see how much I've been trying." She didn't argue. She didn't cry. She just looked stunned, like she never thought I'd actually walk. I gave her 2 months to figure out a place to go. I paid my share of the rent and utilities. I didn't rub anything in her face. I wasn't out for revenge. In those 2 months, she made a couple half-hearted efforts to rekindle something, cooking a nice meal, dressing up once or twice, even offering to split one bill. But it was too little, too late. I had already left the relationship emotionally. When I moved out, she didn't even come out of the bedroom to say goodbye. Just stayed curled up in bed, staring at the wall. A couple of months later, I heard from a mutual friend that she'd moved back in with her parents and shut down her business for now. Apparently, she told people I abandoned her when she needed me most. I didn't bother correcting it. Let her tell whatever story she needs to. As for me, I'm in a better place, living on my own, taking care of myself. I've been dating again, slowly. But this time, I'm looking for someone who knows how to build with me, not just lean on me. Funny thing is, I don't regret helping Jenna. I don't regret the time or the money. What I regret is not drawing boundaries sooner. Not realizing that love without respect and reciprocity is just emotional labor disguised as partnership. She said she didn't need a man to survive. So I let her prove it. I appreciate you watching till the end. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more content.